Join me for this episode as I prepare stuffed steak and sweet potato lobster gnocchi. The San Francisco Bay Area. For our rolled butter flank steak, I am going to show you first how you can cut the flank steak. Now this flank steak that I got was pretty big. It was like a big old block of meat like this, but I'm not showing you how to cut all of the meat, just showing you how to cut a little bit that you need. Typically you can cut it and then you can pound it and flatten it out. The good thing is that my Louisiana hunting skills pick up and I know how to cut the meat. So I'm using a smaller chef knife. You can use a larger one, but the smaller chef knife is easier for me to control with my wrist. So I cut the flank steak into 6 quarters. Okay, this one here is about 2 pounds that I have right here. I cut it in a square so it'll be much easier for when you cut it, it will flatten out. Okay, so cut it into a square first, and this is the easy way you could do it. You see how nice, beautiful meat. This is a nice piece of flank steak. You want to leave the as much fat on it as you can. Reason being is because when you roll it and stuff it, you want that nice, crispy, caramel, juicy, flat oil coming through. Okay, let's get started. So here's my chef knife. I want to take my thumb, finger, rub it up like this here. And I want to take my chef knife, cut in the middle, all the way down. See why I'm using the smaller one? That way I can measure my angle. Oh, my angle. Okay, so look, roll it back like this, and you'll see the flesh that tears on both sides. All right, you want to make sure you keep your fingers away from the knife. So roll this part back, leave this part flat, and then you can just pretty much just guide it. See how like this? I'm just guiding it and just cutting along here in the groove, just like this. Here we are. And remember, I don't want to cut through it. I just want to cut it in half to make it flat. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. And see how we got that nice and flat. Okay, at this part, you can go ahead and pound it out. I'm not gonna pound it out. I pretty much like it a little bit thick, but you can leave it, you can make it as thin as you want. You can make it paper thin. I could take it a little bit more in like this, and kind of just take your time with it. I've been cutting meat for a very long time, especially having grown up in Louisiana off and on as a kid, visiting my papa and my grandma. I've learned pretty early how to cut meat. Okay, so here we are. And also a tribute to my Uncle Joe Garner. Yes, he is a butcher and he knows how to cut his meat. Okay, so here we go. All right, so you see I took that piece of square meat and flattened it out just like this here. And again, if you want to use a pound, you can go ahead and use your pounder for it and just go ahead and pound away. All right, so here we are. Just took that out a little bit here. And if you have some holes, that's okay. It's okay to have a little bit of hole here. You're just gonna go ahead and squish that in here. All right, let's go ahead and season it. I am seasoning. You can use a steak season. You could go online and find out the steak season, but here I'm using paprika, cayenne pepper, Italian seasoning, and real pepper. Like, we want to get the thick black pepper, not the small speck pepper, and kosher salt. And also I am using a little bit of smoked paprika. The smoked paprika is going to bring a nice hickory mystique flavor to it. All right, here, and then I'm going to go ahead and follow it up a little bit more with kosher salt, just a tad bit more. Now I have my butter is room temperature, and for this one here, it's about 2 pounds of steak. I'm going to use about a stick and a half, so that will be like 12 ounces of butter, be 8 ounces plus 4 ounces. And here's a half a stick up here. I'm just gonna put it here, and it's room temperature. You do not want to use the cold butter. You want to use room temperature butter. That way it is nicely smoothing out. See how this is smooth? And you could use your fingers, but you could use a nice plastic spatula like I'm doing, just like this, and just smother it on. That's the Louisiana. Smother the butter. Yes, you want to smother the butter. All right, look at here. Look at that. And you want a nice thick coat of butter. You don't want a thin coat of butter. You want a nice coat of butter. And then right after here, so you can use bacon. I don't eat bacon. You can use pretty much anything else that you want to stuff it with as far as meat. I am going to use soy chorizo. So you could use a beef chorizo or you could use a chorizo. But for this one, I am using soy chorizo. And the reason why I'm using soy chorizo is because it's much spicier. And also the soy chorizo will allow that beef flavor to come out even more. Okay, so I have soy chorizo. I did not pre-cook the soy chorizo. Nope, didn't pre-cook the soy chorizo because it is going to cook in the stuffed steak. All right, so here it is. I didn't want to overcook it because I would still like to get that soy chorizo, like the spiciness of it. And it's gonna add really, really, really great texture to the flank steak as well. Watch, oh my God. Okay, so look, this is coming up beautifully. Look at this. And you don't wanna pat it too much down because we're gonna roll it anyway. But we do want to go ahead and put it, indent it in the butter. And that's why I rolled the butter down first, so we can indent the meat in. Spinach. I am using spinach. Spinach welts up, but also spinach offer a really great flavor, and spinach has a great color, a beautiful color, and spinach will be able to handle the temperature of your rolled steak. Okay, you're saying she's adding a lot of spinach. Yes, because spinach cooks down, okay? And you do want to be able to see the spinach. Okay, so I am going to start from the tip. Always find a tip if you have one, and then if not, then start from the thinnest part. Okay, so I bring it up like this over and roll it. Just roll it. That's it, nothing special about it. Roll it, see how like my fingers are in, and I'm bringing it over and I'm holding it really, really tight. Yes, and I'm just rolling it over. That's it. It's not that hard. Just roll, 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 roll. There you are. Look at here. Okay, so at this point, I am going to add a little bit of olive oil. I'm using olive oil. You can use vegetable oil, but I prefer olive oil because let's keep it nice and rich. All right, and let's add our seasoning. Now, if you want to marinate your flank steak, you can before you start this process or before you cut it. But for me, I really want to get the flavor of the flank steak because this is a really, really good piece of meat. And I really want to taste that beef flavor. And so that's why I went ahead and added last. So remember, I season it inside and I'm seasoning on the outside as well. And we coat it with the olive oil. So when we put the seasoning on it, it's gonna act as a marinade already. Some people go ahead and do the marinade and they'll brush it on. But my hands are already dirty, right? My hands are already dirty, so why dirty up a brush? Okay, so, disclosure. You could use the THYME, you know, you see the fancy THYME. And if I was at work in the commercial kitchen in a restaurant, my chef would have my head if I did not, you know, type. But since this is, I'm at home and we are in COVID, so the pandemic lockdown, so I couldn't find any rope. So you know what? I'm going to be resourceful during this time and use toothpicks. Yes, I am. Some chefs are gonna cringe and be like, no, you're supposed to use a rope. Listen, we are in a pandemic and a lot of stores are not open that I'm used to going to. So I'm going to be resourceful and use a toothpick, okay? And if you want to complain, go ahead and complain. I don't care. Okay, so how I'm going to use a toothpick is I want to, of course, measure out my rolls. And this is a pretty thick piece of meat, so I want to make sure that I get my toothpick all the way down. I don't want to put too many toothpicks in it, you know, because I want to make sure it cooks as well. So I am going to, so here's a toothpick and I'm going to kind of eyeball, here's that roll right there. Yeah, and then just kind of eyeball it a bit. Now, like I said, if I was at work, which I'm not, my chef will have my head, but I'm not there. I'm at home in my kitchen, cooking for my family, showing you how I am cooking for my family. So I am adding toothpicks because I was not running around town looking for some rope. Here we are right here. Look at this. It's coming together. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. And you'll be proud of yourself too, because trust me, this is a really easy recipe that I just gave you. Again, you can, if you want to, you can stuff it with pretty much anything, but this is a really nice, simple way of stuffing it. It's really great flavors. Okay, so look, stop talking too much. Here we go. This right here is my large chef knife. I got a whole chef family. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim the front of it. You do not have to. You can leave it like that. But I am, and the reason why is because I want you to see this. Look how beautiful this is. Look. Look how gorgeous that is. Look at how nice that watch. Look at that. So you can see all the beautiful colors. See how the spinach is curling around, the butter. You have the sausage right there. And see, now you know why I didn't want to do it too thin, because I wanted that meat, nice big piece of meat and a lot of spinach, is because, look, you want to see the spinach when it cooks. Okay, so I have like one right here. It's real cute. My husband will eat that one. he doesn't care. He doesn't care if it's fancy or not. Okay, here we are. We're going to cut this part off here. And we're going to cut that and make sure this is turned on. Alright, and do not throw anything away, okay? You trust me. You keep this. You can use it for something, okay? Alright, here we go. Whew. And then I have my other ones here, and you just want to repeat the process. You can just repeat the process for those as well. Look how beautiful this is. Gorgeous. And you see my toothpicks, so just go ahead and just remove that toothpick and put it right here back in place. Look at this. So this one here, I could get probably about four nice pieces out of it. Look at this. So pretty. So pretty. All right. Make sure that's nice and hot. So we have the stuffed steak already rolled in the butter, the chorizo, and spinach. High heat. Let's do the heat really, really high because we want to get a nice crust on the outside of it. And we're going to cook the remainder of it inside the oven. So I'm going to put it in my indoor grill. Now, if I was outdoor on the grill, I would just cook it, turn it over a few times, put the lid down, and then just let it go. But since I'm at home, I want to do a high heat. See how that's nice and sizzling? And I want to cook it on each side. Oh, look at there. So we get that nice crust. And it depends on your meat, how thick your meat is. I'm not really going for all the way cooked. I'm just going for a nice crust on the outside. So you want to do all 4 edges like this. Because again, we're gonna finish cooking it inside the oven. All right, while these are cooking up, these here are ready. I was able to go ahead and crust these on all 4 sides. And you can see how nice, beautiful color that is. Ooh, look at that color from the chorizo. And then I got the little grill marks from it as well. After I finish this here, I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of water, not too much of water. The reason why I want to add just a tiny bit of water is because I want it to steam up. I'm going to put my aluminum foil pan on top, and I'm going to put this in the oven for about 375 degrees for about 25 minutes. Now, it depends on how you like your meat. If you like it medium rare, or well done, make sure whatever you do, take a temperature. Your meat should be 165 degrees. When it reaches 165 degrees, then take it out of the oven, uncover it, let it sit for about 30 minutes so all the juices and everything can coagulate inside of it, and then you'll be able to cut it. We are doing the sauce for our stuffed rolled steak. The sauce is mushroom, heavy cream, sherry wine, a little lemon, Italian seasoning, and we are going to take the juice or the gravy that was from the steak. Okay, so remember I had the toothpicks in here. That's okay, because guess what? It turned out good. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Okay, so while the mushrooms are cooking up a bit, we are going to go ahead and add the sherry wine. So have about a half a cup of mushrooms, a fourth a cup of sherry wine. We'll go ahead and let that cook down a little bit. Remember, it's the sherry wine, it's a cooking wine, so it doesn't have a lot of alcohol in it, especially when you cook it down as well. And the reason why I'm using the sherry wine is because it's a little bit sweeter, and we have the salt and all of the spices that's from the steak, so a nice little sweet wine sauce will go really, really delicious with it. Okay, and look, it smells so good. So while that's cooking down and I'm working on the last toothpick, we're gonna go ahead and add the heavy cream. About a third cup of heavy cream. Just add it in. And we're just gonna let it all reduce down. I'm not adding any salt or pepper or anything to it. The reason being is because you're gonna have a lot of the seasoning that's gonna come in from the juice of the steak after you take it out of the pan. And so we are not gonna add any seasonings to that because I don't wanna over season it, because again, I want you to get the flavor of the steak. Look at this, it's coming out real beautiful. That is gorgeous. Okay, it came up to a bubble. That's what you want. Go ahead and add the sauce, or I would say the juice from the steak. Look at that beautiful color. That is just a wonderful color. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off here. It has like the fat and the little oil from it, but the heavy cream is gonna grab it and absorb it, and you'll see it's gonna be real nice and thick and a really beautiful sauce. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut the rolled steak. Yes, look how beautiful this came up. Oh, this came up so beautiful. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. Look at that. Came out gorgeous. Great temperature. I took it out at 165 degrees. Yes, a little bit of pink. If you like more pink, you can go ahead and not let it rest so much. But when you let it rest, it will cook a little bit more. Look at this. And look how juicy it is. Oh, perfect color. This is the perfect color. And this is about a good color for a rolled steak. Rolled stuffed steak. Look, I'm just gonna put this right here because it's just so pretty. Look how pretty this came out. But before I do that, I made a mistake. That's okay. I had made some pesto sauce previously, and you don't have to, but I did because of the color. It's a nice color here. You could do asparagus, you could do broccolini, but I figured that a pesto will be a nice sauce. You could also leave out the cheese in the pesto if you like, and just make here. Look, it looks like a mess, but trust me, it's gonna turn out good. Okay, so there. So I have my steak. Let's go ahead and put the steak down. Look at this. See? See, it was for a reason. And let's take out the rest of the steak. Slice it up. So beautiful. Look how beautiful this is. And we get one more slice. Can we get one more slice? Can we get one more slice? Make it look nice and pretty for you. All right, it looks nice, beautiful, sliced just like this. And see, you put it on here and see the idea of the beautiful greenery just like that. Right on the bottom of it. So nice. Let's just fix it up pretty. Then let's come back and let's grab our sauce. I wish you could smell this sauce. It smells so good. Look how beautiful that is. And see what I mean with the heavy cream? The heavy cream just came right on in and snatched up that oil a little bit. And the mushrooms are cooked in it. There's a nice flavor here. And I don't want to cover it up. Kind of want to leave it like that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put the sauce on the side of it. Yeah, because it's really pretty. It's really, really pretty. And here we are. We have our stuffed rolled steak. Look how pretty that is. Maybe we do a little bit of sauce. Maybe not too much. Oh yeah, okay. The sauce will work on that. Oh, okay, look at there. Because I just didn't want to cover up those beautiful, beautiful rolls. Look how that is. And of course, as you eating it, you can add more to it. For my sweet potato gnocchi, I went ahead and baked the sweet potato first, but I used yam. Sweet potato yam, same thing. So I went ahead and baked it first, cooled it down, and then I went ahead and mashed it. Now, if I was working in my commercial kitchen at the restaurant, I would use a rice grinder to take out some of the fiber that's in the sweet potato. But since I'm at home and I'm cooking for my family, we're gonna make it rustic. Okay, so go ahead, mash it up. Try not to mash it up too much because the chunks of the sweet potato be nice. Okay, so this is about 4 cups of sweet potato right here. I am using 100% wheat flour because I really want a nice texture on my gnocchi. Okay, so 4 cups of sweet potato, and I am going to add 1 cup of 100% pastry wheat to that. On top of that, I am going to add Himalaya salt. You could use kosher salt. I did about 1 tablespoon of salt. You're like, that's a lot of salt. Well, I'm adding some other stuff to it. You'll see why. About 1/4 of black pepper. You could use white pepper. And then I am going to add cinnamon, nutmeg, and a little bit of clove to it, and that's gonna give it that nice sweet potato flavor as well. Okay, the reason why I add a little bit more salt than usual is because I am adding ricotta cheese. Ricotta cheese typically does not have a lot of flavor, and so that's why I add the flavor, a little bit of salt to that. So I added about 1/2 cup of ricotta cheese. And then I'm adding 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. And to this one here, I am going to do 2 whole eggs. So I put everything all together, just like I have it here. And I want to smell that cinnamon and nutmeg and the clove. Like, I want to smell it. It smells so good. All right. So here, I have it here. You see that it's all coming together. The ricotta cheese is coming together. The flour is coming together. The egg is coming together. And I'm not going to mix it because it's a dough. So what I'm doing is just gently taking my wooden spoon, flicking it around. Oop, lost a little bit. That's okay. We're gonna get it. Okay, so it's coming together. We want to get the egg in there. We want to get the ricotta cheese in there, and it smells delicious. If you want to add a little bit more seasoning, you can. If you want to add a little bit more of your cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove, you can go ahead and do so. Just added a little bit here. Okay, so jiggle a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add a little bit of my flour to my stainless steel here, and I'm going to add another cup of flour. All right. Okay, so then I'm just gonna take it and use my fingers and get in there, ooey dooey, and this is gonna be real nice and light. All right, let's put this behind us so we can work that later. And look how it's gonna be a really nice light dough. It's not going to be like pastry where it's like kind of tough. It's like a really pillow type of dough, really airy dough, and that's what you want. You want a nice airy dough. See, look, like this here. And you want to keep a little bit of the flour on the side. That is why I added a generous amount of salt, because you will be adding flour to it as we go along. All right, and look how nice this is. Okay, so you want to not knead it too much, but you want to make sure that the dough is worked in. All right, so I'm rolling the gnocchi really nice and soft, because I want to keep that nice pillow texture to it. All right, so you can kind of eyeball what you want here, and then just go ahead and take, you could use a knife if you have a knife. And then I'm going to butt my gnocchi with my fingers. So it can kind of be uniform. Or if you have a gnocchi roller, you can do the nice little gnocchi spiral. And then I'm just gonna take my finger and just dap it in the middle, just like that, because I just want it to look so nice. There you are. And go ahead and just repeat the process over and over and over and over until you get all the gnocchi that you want. Okay, if you're not ready to cook the gnocchi yet, you can always go ahead and set your gnocchi in the refrigerator, or you can leave it out to dry. You could do that as well. It's up to you. Generally, when you make gnocchi, you want to make it fresh to cook. So as soon as you make the gnocchi, you want to go ahead and get it cooked. First, I'm going to brown the sweet potato gnocchi in brown butter. So I want to set it probably about a medium-high heat. And I'm going to add the butter. So for this one here, I'm adding probably about a quarter of a stick of butter because I don't have a lot of gnocchi right now. And the temperature of the butter is, I want it all the way melted, but I want the butter to be a little bit brown. That way it's kind of like a nutty kind of flavor. All right, and here we are, we're almost there. You don't want to burn the butter. Just want to brown it a bit. And that's about right. So we'll go ahead and add our fresh gnocchi that we made earlier. And what I want to do is get a nice sear on the gnocchi. I just wanted to get a nice golden crust on it. You can see it's coming out really nice. And the butter is just getting more golden and more golden and more brown and more brown. And you can smell, you can smell the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the clove, all in it, a little bit of hint of vanilla that we put in it. And also you can smell the sweet potato as well. All right, so let's go ahead and flip it over. Look, it browned up nicely already. And that's what we want, because we want that crunch, a little nice little crunch. So it's an airy potato pasta. I have like that little nice little airy little pillow taste, and then it's gonna have a nice crunch, like a nice little spinach crunch. Okay, so we have one side, and this one here, I don't know, but you know, we're gonna make it work. Look at there. Okay, so we already getting a nice crust. See that nice crust on it, and the butter is nice and brown. It has that nice nutty flavor to it. That is going to be delicious. Yes, it is. And I want to keep that cinnamon nutmeg flavor. That's why I didn't want to add too much. That's why I salted the I salted it in the dough, so that way I wouldn't have to salt it so much when I am cooking it, because I wanted to keep the cinnamon and nutmeg flavor. All right, so that is going to be nice. We don't want it to burn. You don't want it to burn. We just want it to toast up a little bit, but we still want to keep that pillow softness to it. Okay, so that's good right there. Smells good. We'll go ahead and put that in the bowl along with the butter. And I'm gonna set this over to the side right here. And so now we are going to make the lobster cream sauce. So I have a whole lobster here. You can do, I don't know, as you don't have to do a whole lobster like me, but because my boys and my husband love lobster, actually doing one lobster here, but when I finish the rest, I am going to do a whole bunch of these lobsters. All right, so let's get the meat out. We just want the meat for this one. Get here. This is a nice lobster, by the way. Give me a nice piece of lobster. Let's go ahead and get this out of the ribs. It's gonna come out real nice and easy. Let's cut this part off. And then since I split it down the middle, I'm gonna go ahead and just cube it up. Here. All right, look how this. And I'm gonna take my lemon and go ahead and cut my lemon at the same time. All right, our pan is still warm and our stove is still nice and hot. I still want that medium heat. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of white wine. This is cooking white wine, but you can use any white wine that you like to. You can use any kind. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and add the lobster to it really quick. And remember, it is going to cook off. So usually some people will cook the lobster first, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to make the lobster tough. So that's why I went ahead and cooked it in the white wine. I'm going to go ahead and add my lemon juice. I'm not squeezing the entire lemon, but probably about a tablespoon of lemon juice because I really, really want a nice, bright flavor. Look at this. And this is just going to cook nice. And you want this to cook until you see the red, all the way to the little red. See, I see the red on the shell. And the lobster meat to turn pink. All right. So at that point here, I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper to it. I'm gonna do my little Himalayan pink salt, but you can do kosher salt if you have it. A little bit there just to brighten it up a bit. A little pepper, black pepper, white pepper if you have it. And let that just go ahead and cook. Look how that's cooking out. Oh, it smells so good. Yes! And see how it's coming up? Lobster doesn't take very long for lobster to cook. It's like a shrimp. It doesn't take very long at all. But I cooked it in a white sauce because I want that lobster flavor to come out of it. All right, it's coming out beautifully. So I am going to add a 1/3 cup of heavy cream. Yes. And so the salt and the lemon is going to give that heavy cream a nice flavor. Then I'm gonna come back and add a little bit more of my nutmeg and cinnamon and clove mix. Yes, just a little bit. Just trust me on it, trust me. So it's almost like you're making an Alfredo sauce here, and then let that cook. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. That is beautiful, incredibly beautiful, okay? So just add your gnocchi right on back in there. And you just want to stir it up a little bit. The sauce seems a little bit loose, but guess what? From the potato pasta, the gnocchi, it is going to thicken up. All right. We're gonna go ahead and just add it to the bowl, just like this. Ooh, hey, yes. And then a little bit of what? Parmesan cheese. And the Parmesan cheese is gonna melt beautifully right on top. And it's also gonna add a little bit of thickness to the sauce as well. And here we are. We have our sweet potato gnocchi with a lobster cream sauce. Okay, so I finished the dinner. Yes! I went ahead and added German chocolate cake to the mix. that's another show. Check out the pastry show, and I'm making German chocolate cake from scratch, so you could go ahead and get that recipe from there. So we have the sweet potato gnocchi with the lobster cream sauce, and our stuffed rolled rolled. I'll get it right and make sure I put it in the caption. Okay, so our rolled stuffed flank steak with butter, spinach, and soy chorizo. Also topped it off with a mushroom sherry cream sauce. Okay, so this looks so delicious. I'm ready to taste this and eat this, but I have a special guest, my husband. Come on. My husband's gonna taste the food.
Yeah. Wow, it looks so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so look, I know you share me all the time with working in the kitchen and working in the restaurant. And so I decided, you know, today come home and cook for you as if I was at the restaurant, all right? So you already heard what we have, right? So which one would you like to try first?
Oh man, let me get that sweet potato gnocchi. Yes.
Let you get that sweet
May
potato?
I have, please, the sweet potato
Okay,
gnocchi.
so the sweet potato gnocchi with the lobster cream sauce. All right. And you love my cream sauce.
Girl, I love everything.
Cream sauce. Go ahead and taste it so everyone can see how it tastes. Yes.
Oh.
So describe the gnocchi. How does the gnocchi taste? Remember that sweet potato gnocchi. Woo. The Parmesan cheese.
So the this shrimp on top. Oh my God.
No, it's lobster.
The lobster. Girl. This lobster on top of this is so good. And then it's sauce.
Yes.
It's impeccable.
So it has like a nice little sweet little tartness.
It all comes together.
Yes. Can you taste the cinnamon and nutmeg and clove and the gnocchi?
This is delicious. Can you make this one tomorrow?
Well, hopefully we'll have some leftovers by the time the boys finish eating. Okay, so the steak. Want to try the steak?
Yeah, I want to try it.
All right. So we have, I'm just going to give you the piece right here, okay? And then I did a little pesto sauce. Okay, so this
that
is
look good. Oh.
You love mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's like one of your favorites.
I can have a mushroom sandwich.
Yeah. I grilled the mushroom for you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so there you go. Okay, top that off.
Do I cut this?
Well, yeah, here, I have a knife here for you, so. And this is with soy chorizo and butter. All right, so make sure you get some mushroom. Make sure you get the sauce. I don't want to just like destroy it for you.
Yeah, that girl, look.
All right, go ahead, taste that.
All right, here we go.
All right, a little bit more sauce on it for you.
Thank
There you go, because I know you
love
like sauce.
sauce.
Yeah, there you go. Taste that.
Whoa, now this is good.
All right, look at the camera. Tell them.
Delicious. Oh my God.
Okay. So I made you a restaurant quality meal for dinner. That's what we're doing here in the pandemic and COVID. I'm cooking at home instead of cooking in a restaurant.
I really appreciate this.
You are welcome. Okay, before you get into it, because I know you're getting ready to go all the way into it. I see you. Your favorite. What's your favorite?
German chocolate. No.
Yes.
Oh.
And I made it from scratch too.
Oh my God.
You know I make it from scratch.
You make everything from scratch.
Yes. So go ahead. I think you ran through the forks right here.
I'll take that right there.
Here you go, right there. All right. So get it for the camera so you can see it. And that's the chocolate, the German chocolate that I melted and put on top. Again, that's on the pastry show. So if you want to see how I made the German chocolate filling and melt the chocolate and make the cake, that's on the pastry show. Go ahead. Try it.
Now how do I cut this?
Just cut it. I know usually it's not all that fancy, but in a restaurant it has to be like super fancy, right?
Yeah.
But at home I could just cut it and just put it on a plate and give it to you. There you go. Taste the coconut. The butter.
This is delicious.
And the chocolate.
Yes.
All right, turn around. See how it is? See, look at that. Look at all that German chocolate up in there and the chocolate. Okay, thank you so much. The boys are gonna come down and enjoy dinner as well. Come back with Cook's Time, family time dinner. And remember, you can have a restaurant dinner right at home with your family. See you next time on Cook's Time.
Thank you.